Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the now streaming Morning Life show brought to you from the stables of the Advent Cable Network Nigeria, where we challenge perspective and break stereotype. With the staggering debt profile hitting the sum of 149 trillion naira, which has been described as being reckless borrowing under the Tinubu administration by the Speaker House of Representatives Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, yet not channeled to the healthcare sector and also to the provision of essential amenities. Could this debt servicing be said to have a spiral effect on the industrial strike action just do I say still thinking or just embark upon by the resident doctor in Abuja over their end allowances? Could all of these issues and burden of leadership make our very own president say, as reported in some national daily, that this place I am sitting is a prison? This is a question. And then we'll ask, is the seat of the president now a prison? This Wednesday morning, just as always, we would be discussing these trending issues alongside some other national stories for today. I am your anchor, Godwin Ujiri, and like I would always say, I don't do this alone. With me in the studio to co-anchor this show with me is
Bolu Atife Adidboye. Good morning, Godwin.
Good morning, Bolu.
Well done.
All right, thank you so much, Bolu. Viewers, there you have it. That is my co-anchor, Bolu Atife. And with us in the studio to do justice to all of our trending topics and the discussions we'll have for you this morning is no other person but Alhaji Matthew Ogune, who is the chairman and CEO of Media Group Limited. Alhaji Matthew, you are most welcome to now streaming.
Good morning, my brother.
All right, good morning. Our viewers, remember you can be part of the show by calling in the number showing on your screen and also by sending your comments via our various social media platforms. But like we do it, we'll take a look at some select newspapers headline that came in this morning. And I will be leaving my co-anchor, Bolu Atife, to steer the ship of the show from this end.
All right, thank you very much, Godwin. And we are going to be starting with the Punch newspaper this morning. And the lead story there says doctors to decide on nationwide strike today. And that story is on page 7 and 29 of the Punch newspaper. And we have at the top of that, Nupeng Suspends strike as Dangote accepts union's demands. That story is on page 23. We also have 31 states domestic debt. It's 2.57 trillion naira. That story is on page 23. We also have 2027 presidency. Jonathan split South-South PDP. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. At the bottom strip there, we have Osun Kingmakers reject move to dethrone jailed monarch. That story is on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Vehicle theft. 3 Nigerians jailed 96 years in Ghana. That story, you have it on page 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper. We also have South Africa dent Eagles World Cup hopes after stalemate. We used to have Super Eagles. I don't know if it's Super Chickens that we are having these days. And we move very quickly to the Vanguard newspaper this morning. And the top story on the Vanguard newspaper says world leaders, envoys condemn Israel's attack on Qatar. Above the masthead there, we have how kidnapped major was rescued in Delta community. We also have federal government gazettes, tax reform laws. Implementation begins January 2026. Gridlock as flash flood take over Lagos roads, paralyzes business. We also have we will brand Nigeria's global culinary powerhouse. This is coming from Kalejayi there. Below the lead story there, we have Nupeng Suspends strike after DSS brokered truce with Dangote. We have also new curriculum don't implement in hurry. Expert tells federal government. That story is on page 10. We also have 2027, more governors, senators eager to join APC, says Hilbert. That's coming from the national chairman of the APC there. And many more of these stories are on, the details are in the pages of the newspaper this morning, and we move very quickly back to Godwin.
All right, thank you so much, Michael and Kobolude. And there you have it, viewers. I would from this end be taking the Guardian newspaper for you this morning, and the Guardian is leading with this headline. It says, "An FG under pressure as DMO blames FX global shocks for rising debt." This story can be seen on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper, and then on the picture story there, I would say goes in line with the lead story, having the picture of the president and that of the Honorable Speaker, House of Reps, the Minister and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, the Senate President, and all other faces that matters there. And I think all of this is on the debt profile of Nigeria that is currently trending. And just above the Guardian masthead there, you have PDP, Labour, orders flare, Senate move to stop Natasha resumption. This story can be seen on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. And also on page 29, we have Delta slashes dialysis cost, expand health reform. This can be seen on page 29 also of the Guardian newspaper. For me, I would say that is indeed a very commendable one coming from the governor of Delta State there. And then you have on page 3, Nupeng Suspends strike as Dangote agrees to unionize workers. This can be seen on page 3 and has been taken previously by my co-anchor there on all other papers that we have seen to be discussing this morning. And just above the picture story there, we have flight delays, disruption. NCAA summons domestic airlines to Abuja. This story can be seen on page 5 of the Guardian. And also we have on page 30, the Reps Films summon minister over Abuja Kaduna rail derailment. Yeah, that is indeed quite unfortunate that at this level of technical expertise we will still be having train that are derailing from their track. And then lastly there on the Guardian newspaper, we have Nepal on edge as Prime Minister, key ministers resign over alleged graft and social media ban. This can be seen on the news page of page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. All right, viewers, there you have it on the newspaper review segment on the non-streaming show. And very quickly we would be moving into discussion segment where we'll be looking at all of the trending issues, especially those issues that were also raised from the newspaper and all other issues bothering us as a nation. And just as we have earlier introduced to you, who would be helping us to do justice to this is no other person but Alhaji Matthew Ogune, who happens to be the chairman CEO of MO Media Group Limited. So we will be diving into the conversation. We want to urge you to send in your comments and also call in to the program via the number showing on your screen. We will do well to read out your comment and also take your calls to see your own side of the conversation for this morning. All right, viewers, very quickly now we will be looking at our first story for the day, and that is on the striking doctors. Two trendings are going this way. One says Abuja resident doctor begins 7-day warning strike over neglect, rot in health system. And another says doctors to decide on nationwide strike today. And then, Mr. Matthew, I want to bring you into this conversation this way, because if you follow through my introduction to this morning show, I want to quote the comments of Tajuddin Abbas, who happens to be the leader house, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, who happens to be the leader, the Speaker House of Reps. He said, and I quote, "Yet not channeled to healthcare and provision of essential amenities." I'm trying to quote him this way, that we are having a staggering debt profile hitting the sum of 149 trillion. Now, this is a debt profile of Nigeria, and yet you have our doctors going on strike. Our doctors going on strike. Now, the reasons for the strike is due to neglect and rot in the health sector. And we have our leader, in person of Tajuddin Abbas, saying that despite his debt profile, not much have been channeled, not much, I repeat again, have been channeled into healthcare and the provision of essential amenities. So what would be your take on this?
Okay, thank you very much, my brother. Thank you for the opportunity. Just like we always say that one of the problems we are having in Nigeria is the problem of misplaced priority. If you see every other part of the world, let's not just go to this Western world. Let's leave it at this our West Africa. You will see that Nigeria is the only country that is committing less to both its health and educational sector. So if you see our leaders now be the one complaining about the rot in the system, because what the speaker indirectly said yesterday was complaining about the rot in the system. That's to tell you that they are aware about the problem, but the problem is how do we tackle it? But they don't want to share in the blame because they are leaders. So you cannot tell me that somebody like Abbas know what the problem is and doesn't know the solution. He knows the solution, but the inability of the nation to really define the duty of the executive and the legislature is one of the problems we're having today, because you can't have our doctors going on strike with the level of borrowing. How can a nation not be committing to its health sector? I was in Delta State last month, and I took my mom to the hospital, and you can imagine it was intense that we attended to my mom because of lack of availability of doctors. So I will challenge our legislature. They should wake up to their role of oversight. There is no proper oversight. There is no check and balances on the excessive nature of the executive. That is the reason why you are witnessing this executive rascality.
All right. Thank you so much. Bolu, I want to bring you now into this conversation. How do we strike a clear-cut balance in the sense that we have both in the House of the Senate House and also the House of Representatives, men and women that could, in quotes, be said to be rubber-stamped, because many persons and public opinion have said that they are sent to every bill, almost every bill sent in by the president, because I can't think I remember any point at which any of this borrowing and whatever have been challenged, if not now. Now the likes of the Senate President in person of Godswill Akpabio allows everything to go. How do we now strike a balance in all of this?
All right, thank you very much. I think first thing first, we should be able to define and know what the legislative duties of these people or these persons are.
Okay.
And what exactly do legislators do? One of their primary duties, and I believe even for civic students, they should know, is to make laws. And I believe that in an organization, everyone has one role or the other to play. And it doesn't make any sense to now, you say because you want to do a show of what I call power or force, to use your office to obstruct the effectiveness of any other person.
Okay.
Are you getting it now? So for those who said that they are rubber stamp, I beg to differ. I feel it is in the best interest of the country if both the executive arm and the legislative arm work hand in hand to move the country forward. Because when you have a situation where the legislative or the legislature at every point in time stops everything, stops every executive order, stops every approvals and all. You have a situation where you now have what we call willing executive and an antagonizing legislature. Are you getting it? That because there's no way the executive itself can work on its own. And that being said, I love the fact that the so-called rubber stamp National Assembly now, at least their leaders are coming out to say, at least Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas came out to say, oh, these loans that you guys are even getting, are we sure that we are appropriating it well? Because in an organization, when you write a letter to maybe your accountant and you tell the accountant, oh, you want to use it to procure tires, and at the end of the day, maybe as you are going to go and procure tire, you now use the same money to buy things for the same office. Sure, you know that alone is a misappropriation.
That's misapplication.
Misappropriation already.
Misapplication.
Now, it is not that you've spent the money wrongly, but
you misapplied it.
You misapplied it. That's for misappropriation. Now, when you look at some of these are things that I feel the speaker was trying to talk about. So, if the so-called national rubber stamp National Assembly can actually come out to say, oh boy, you know what is happening, executive, this money that you are getting is good though. We have no reason to stop you from getting these loans, but you are not appropriating it well. You are misusing these funds. And now, like rightly said, the oversight function, that is where it now comes into play, because it is not just enough to approve all of the bills. Also ensure, because you follow up, because if you have a business, I have a business, is the way they are running Nigeria, the way the National Assembly members are doing, probably they are lacking in their oversight function. Is that the way you and I would run our own business? Your staff will tell you they need money for this. Of course, you don't want your company to suffer. Won't you release it for? You release it, you approve and all of those things. But following up closely, which is one of the duties of the legislature, is what we should just encourage at this point in time.
These people have their personal businesses they are running. Okay. They won't run their personal business.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
The truth is just that it is not enough for Honorable Tajuddin Abbas to just come out and complain about loans and misapplication. Will they stop being rubber stamp? That is the issue. If they can stop being rubber stamp, I can bet you that these funds will not be misapplied.
All right. I beg to court at this point, because I also want to bring Michael Anko into this conversation. So far, Bolu, I don't think you have spoken to the fact that a whopping amount of 149 trillion debt is hanging on the head of almost every Nigerian. So what do we say to this?
Okay, talking about the debt profile of Nigeria, I think it's like, as journalists that we are, it's one of our many duties to be able to enlighten Nigerians. Now, I think from the last records that I have with me, the last research I made, out of the about 149 trillion naira that Nigeria is owing, I hope you know and you are aware that it's not just the federal government alone that is owing that 149 trillion.
Okay.
Now, you have the subnationals, you have state governments also owing out of these things. And I think the loan that is actually the federal government loan is about 80 to 90 trillion. But my challenge is actually not even getting the loan. But the challenge I have, like the Honorable Speaker said, is you can get loans to do capital projects, to do things meaningful that can be seen by people, that can even yield in funds and returns, or that can stand the test of time. Because imagine if you get a loan for, let's say that a loan with a moratorium of about 5 years to build the road, and after 6 months of building the road starts giving way, start giving you pothole signs and all, and you have 5 years after 5 years you now start paying. How do you know? I personally will not be happy if that is happening. And that is what I just wanted to put out there, that now when we talk about the 149 trillion, have we been able to ascertain the one that belongs to the federal government? Have we been able to also ascertain the one that belongs to the state government? Mind you, ab initio, I am not against taking loans. But what I'm against is misappropriation of loans. When you get loans just to embezzle, just to eat, I don't think it's the way to go.
All right, thank you so much, Bolo. Alhaji Matthew, we would be coming to you now, and we want to look at, I wouldn't say, or okay, let me just put it that way, the now resolved industrial action that was recently taken by the National Union, Nupeng, as regards to unionizing Dangote staffs. Now, presently, the staff that Dangote have accepted the union's demand to unionize their staffs. But this was after a 2-day strike. Now, the key question here should be, must we always wait until issues spiral into strike and all other industrial things before real actions are taken on them?
I think it is becoming a norm that our government must wait for strike action or mass action before they act. That was what I was discussing with our brother before this interview started. If the government have the political will to always act at the appropriate time, you won't see anybody striking. That is the fact. Doctors are leaving Nigeria every day. Very soon, I believe the federal government was perceiving an imminent fuel scarcity. That was why they just had to wade in and stop the action. But we still want to appeal to the government because it is our country. We won't leave the country for anybody. They should always wake up on time. Things like this are not good news for other nations. Today, doctors are striking. Tomorrow, Nupeng. Next tomorrow, midwife. Next tomorrow, nurses are not. These are not good names for the country. So the government should wake up to their responsibility. They know how to solve this problem. Once it is coming, just hit it and stop it, so that Nigeria will begin to have a good face outside the country.
All right, thank you so much. Viewers, please do remember that you can call into the show and share in our conversation this morning, and also send in your comment via various social media platform rightly displayed on the screen. And we will do well to take your own side in the course of our conversation this morning. So we would truly be waiting for all of those comments and all of those calls. All right, Mr. Matthew, thank you so much for that very insightful comments you just gave as regards the unionizing of Dangote staff. So, still staying with you, I want you to react on the 14 days ultimatum that was given as regards the withdrawal of 5% fuel tax. Now, this is where we find ourselves. Nupeng just suspended strike as regards to unionizing of Dangote staff. And yet we are having this one that affects you, affects me, affects almost every Nigeria. In the course of you buying fuel in any of our filling station, you will be taxed 5% VAT there. And the coordinating minister of the economy is saying that no immediate plan to implement fuel surcharge. This is coming from the federal government, as rightly said by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edo. Now, the question here I want to ask, should Nigeria suffer this surcharge despite the hyper rate at which we are presently buying fuel in our filling station?
Thank you. I think just like you said, should Nigeria suffer? We will suffer for the ineptitude of a government that is not responsible enough to know that its citizens are already suffering. Now tell me, what is the benefit? What is Nigeria even benefiting from the government? Fuel subsidy was removed. Electricity, and I think, which other one again? I think there were 3 benefits Nigeria were getting from the government that we were cut off. Now, what is Nigeria really benefiting from the government? Because after those removal, there are no good routes. The president is still traveling for medical vacation.
Are you trying to say that our security architecture is not working?
There are no good routes after the subsidy removal.
I'm talking of security now because so much I believe have been put into.
No. See, security is not even close to 15%.
Okay.
Security is not working. We don't have good roads. Inflation is on the high. So maybe the government are still trying to bring that figure to make it look as if inflation is going down. But we go to the market every day. We are seeing it. So I don't think any responsible government will even think of it. Even think of telling me as a Nigerian to pay 5% tax after removal of fuel subsidy. No. I think the government they are just overdoing it at this point in time, and it is not something that should fly. It shouldn't fly at all.
All right, thank you, Bolu. I know very well you have so much to say as regards to this, because this is actually affecting you, and even in you commuting daily, this will reflect in transportation hike. If truly implemented, the government is not giving us a reassurance that this will not be implemented, but they are saying that there are no immediate plan. That shows that in the future, they clearly would implement this surcharge. Now, the question to you now, even as my co-anchor, is this. Is this not the fulfillment of widening the tax net that this present administration promises at the advent of the administration?
Thank you very much. We need to look at some of these things.
Okay.
Holistically, and in as much as this is economics, I wouldn't want to to go very deeply, especially when we are not so vast in it, because when we get to the table of discussion or talking about the economy, we should be able to know.
Okay.
Yeah. Now we need to know this petroleum tax. When was it included in our laws? When was it included?
Should Nigerians be taxed for consuming a commodity that is right in their domain as a nation?
Now, we need to be able to have conversations and it's our duty to let our viewers know some of these things. So when you say that they should pay tax for what is in their domain, you make it seem like we are in the market and we speak like some of these people who really don't have full knowledge about what is happening. Now, this particular petroleum tax, which is I think about, they said is 5% of the petrol, now has been in the law since 2010. That's from 15 years ago. Now, but then the previous administrations have refused to implement it. But here is the political twist. There are some certain things that when you get into government, you actually love to do. But when you look at the political implication of some of these things, you will decide to, let me stay back. For example, all throughout the administration of the late Muhammadu Buhari, he talked about subsidy removal. But mind you, till he left office, he never touched anything. The only time he touched it was in January 2023, when he knows he's going, and there was no budgetary provision for subsidy from June 1st, 2023. Now, there are some kind of tax or there are some kind of policy that whenever any administration in the world takes it, it would have political implication. For example, I'll take you back to Argentina. I've been hearing so many Nigerians talk about, Argentina this, Argentina that. But nobody is telling you that right now, what is happening in Argentina is nothing to be desirous about. It's nothing to be desirous about. Now, it is on this administration if they would love to implement it. But mine is to make people know that this has been in the law since 2010, but no previous administrations has implemented it. And I tell you, this administration will get to a point where by next year, January 1st next year, they will look at it. If it's good, because by 2026, we are looking at 2027 election. When they look at it and look at the political cost and implication, they will most likely want to soft pedal on some of these things. In as much as some of these things, because when we talk about sinner climb here and there, yes, we should get this, we should get that. I feel an average Nigeria is well, in their private businesses, that they are capitalist in nature, and when it comes to the government venture, they want to they want to have full socialism benefits. They become socialists, whereas in their own private business, they really want to get the maximum for it. They want to really get paid so that their customers will pay for what they intend to enjoy. So all of these things is dependent on the political will of this administration to know if it's going to cost them politically. And trust Nigerian politicians. What exactly did Jonathan do in 2010 after the first subsidy? Was it 2012? He looked at it and he had to backtrack that, okay, yeah, I think this thing is going to cost plenty brouhaha, and he had to reverse some certain policies. And I tell you, if some of the policy that this new tax bill, this new tax law would have negative effect on the politically on this administration, they will soft pedal on some of these things. But then the truth of the matter is, should some of these things be implemented? I say yes. But can we bear the brunt now with what we have in the economy? I don't think Nigerians are ready to bear that brunt.
All right, thank you so much, Michael Ankobolu, and also Alhaji Matthew, for all of your insightful analysis there. Mr. Matthew, you would also, right here in the studio, agree with me that Bolu have given his own assertion as regards this issue. Now, before we continue in this conversation, we will quickly take a breather, and when we'll come back, we would continue with all of the issues in our front burner this morning. Please don't go away. We will be right back. All right, welcome back, viewers. If you are just joining us, this is the ACNN Now streaming show brought to you from the stables of the Advent Cable Network. We have been discussing all of the issues, trending issues, I must say, troubling us as a nation. Before we went on the break, we were actually discussing the issue of the tax charge that would be, Nigerian government is saying they are not implementing it, but would be taxed on every liter of petroleum product that you buy, especially PMS from a fuel station. This is where we are in the conversation, and if you are joining us, we want to urge you to send in your comment and also call via the number showing on your screen to share your own view on your side of the conversation this morning. We would be waiting to get all of those comments and all of those calls from you. All right, before we went on the break, Michael Anko was giving a very insightful analysis on all that revolves around this tax law as regards to the charges on petrol in our nation. And I want to now ask Bolu, Nigerians have taken so much, if I must say, within the space of 2 years in this present administration. Now, if you are saying that this tax law have been in place since 2010, but yet previous government failed to implement it, why must it be now, where Nigerians are actually bearing the brunt of an increase already in the fuel price? Why must it be now, where there are taxes on almost everything we buy? Why must it be now? Does the government, or is the government so insensitive to the fact that Nigerians are bleeding? Why must it be now? Why must it be the Tinubu administration who is open to seeing that every means necessary is being used to tax and to milk Nigeria? Why must it be now? I asked again.
I think we need to look at some of these things. When we start talking about why must it be now, you see, if you are expected to to wash your linen, your dirty clothes in the morning, if you don't wash it in the morning, at the end of the day, at some point in time, you will be made to wash some of that same clothes that you refuse to wash in the morning. Either you wash it in the morning, afternoon, night, or eventually you will still get to wash some of these things. And when we look at it, we need to be frank with ourselves. The first subsidy removal, 2012, it was done by the then administration of President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, but politicians, in their usual way and manner, and some of the big the actors currently in these administrations now, even the president himself, were part of those who led the protest against the full subsidy removal. Are you getting it now? But then, was it full subsidy a necessity as and when President Goodluck Jonathan removed it? Yes, it was a necessity. What they simply did, what the politicians made us simply do then was, they have a way of controlling the narrative through the use of media to make it feel like, oh, Nigerians, we are suffering. And rightfully, the things go up and all of those things.
All right,
yes,
Kole, please hold your thoughts. We'll have a caller. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Now Streaming.
Good morning.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
I'm Christopher, calling from Abuja.
Good morning, Mr. Christopher.
Okay. Sorry, I'm listening to what you people are saying concerning the tax on the fuel price that the federal government is introducing. One, since I was born, we have been asking for what our forefather told us: good health education, good road, good hospital, and maybe full electricity for the country. I'm over 40 now, but till now, all those things are not suitable. They are collecting tax from our transfer, our bank, this thing. What are they using those things for? They want to tax us for fuel again. One day they will be taxing us for passing under the road they built that is not even good. So what are we, even the citizens, benefiting from this country? What are we? I'm asking everybody, what is the citizen of this country benefiting from this country? We are the people that is paying for everything, and nothing is given to us. We don't have a good road. Just pass the road from Edo, all the roads are bad. When you travel, your car will be spoiled in the next one day, and you spend your own hard money to fix it. Go to the whole southeast, there's no better roads. Go to southwest. If you're going to Lagos now, Lagos is almost, let's say, 10 hours or 11 hours, but you spend all the whole day to go to Lagos. So what are these people providing for us? So I rest my case from there.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Christopher. Bully, would you want to react?
All right, thank you.
Elijah Matthew. Who would want to react?
Okay.
First?
No, he should react. He should react.
All right. So as I was saying, so some of these things, like the caller said, we need to start asking questions. And how do you get to ask questions? And that brings us back to the legislature. Now, we have representatives. And that's why, for me, I'm not a big fan of tackling matter from the top. I prefer from the grassroots, because I know while growing up, our councillors, our chairmen, there are people that you see on the streets every now and then. And if things are not right, their houses, let's say councillor, for example, the councillor in your area, you should be able to know his house. Go and knock his gate. What is that? And they should be able to give you some of this information. But many of us, we are detached from the places where we can actually ask some of the right questions. For example, you talk about, the tax something, what exactly are they doing with it, this 5% something. We have people in the National Assembly. Now, everybody, at least from your local government, you have a member of the House of Representatives. Whenever they come back home in their offices, have you gone there? Have you made attempts? And that is why we should now be much more interested in our politics rather than going the regular way, doing the rabble-rousey and all of those things. We should ask the right questions and channel it to the right persons. Because, for example, if you ask me what they are doing with the tax bill now, you will be asking the wrong persons. But when you move to some of these House of Representatives, they have the legislative power to be able to say, okay, Honorable Minister for this, come, let's have a conversation. And from there, they can get information back and take it to the grass. And exactly that is what they are clear. That should be what their clear-cut duty. But we have a situation where many people just abandon some of these things, and everybody just.
All right, thank you so much. Alhaji Matthew, would you want to react before we go to other stories?
Yes. Now, talking about tackling the issue from grassroots, let me tell you something, if I may ask. How many of us have access to our elected representatives? How many of them are coming home? I can tell you that when I was in primary school, I was in the same school, the same local school, with my local government chairman. But today, you will not see those things. You can't even have access to a counselor. You can't have access to their children, let alone the counselor. Let me tell you something. What Abbas did, what Honorable Abbas did yesterday at the House of Representatives, you will not tell me that people are not talking. No. People are talking. What he did yesterday was as a result of the complaint he is getting as a lawmaker.
Maybe from his people.
No, from the way we are having this conversation now.
Please, you just hold on. We have a caller. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Now Streaming.
Since the beginning of this administration, even what successive government has said is difficult, they have implemented and has caused untold hardship to the citizenry. Then, if they are bringing the issue of tax again, we don't know whether they want us to die before the end of this administration. That is my contribution. Because on the issue of electricity, 774 local governments are supposed to be connected to electricity. And uninterrupted power supply for 24 hours daily. But now we are not seeing it. Most of the local governments are not getting light. The roads are bad. The insecurity everywhere. Kidnapping, banditry everywhere. I don't even know what is happening that you keep on compounding by inflating money. Whereas the money remains the same. Pensioners are collecting the same amount. No one that has been had, even if they pronounce anything. And the money did not get to the owner, then you keep on, somebody will pay deaf ears to it. The councillors you just mentioned that we should go to, most of them are not in their constituency. Then, wherever they are in the city, if they are in the city, how do you locate them to say you are sending any information? Before they even pass such a law at the National Assembly, somebody must have been there representing us that knows about it, because it has to be concentrated at the lower house and the upper house before the president can go ahead. That's my contribution.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mohammed from Loco Jade. All right, Alhaji, please go ahead.
And let me just finish. Just like I said what we are doing now is part of our civic responsibility. They are watching us. So this is our contribution to whatever is going on in this country today, because we don't have access to them. Even if me, as a journalist that is practicing, I have access to most of these persons, it is not every Nigeria. So many people in my place, Abraka, cannot even access the councillor. So the truth is just that Nigerians are tired of, just like my brother here said, that we should look at where it started from, we should check what is on ground. Nigerians are tired of these things. They don't even want you to tell them.
All right, okay. So sorry for cutting. We have a caller. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Newsroom. Good morning, Mr. Sunday.
Matthew, uncle. I started following you from the newspaper, and I actually come to understand that if we allow Nigeria to go the way it is going, we are just heading nowhere. I think. But the truth remains that keep saying the fact the way it is. People like Raymond and probably your co-author will be thinking we are the nation. You see, the fact that concerns about following trends of this administration, it is so alarming that a point will come when China will stop borrowing Nigeria. They will say that their money has finished. So they will have to resort to OPay and money points, just like Lumelaye has suggested, because they must borrow. It is in their blood to borrow. And when you look at what they are borrowing for, you will see nothing. They are borrowing to sponsor to sponsor not to sponsor luxury, sponsor expensive from government. Come on. Buhari, the people were traveling. Tell me in essence, what would about 4 able men, 4 governors, what were they doing in the airport, trying to wait to tell people bye-bye, and after they will include it in the expenses they did for this nation? A man like Imo State governor travel all the way from Imo to come and tell you bye-bye. Why? He's going where? Let me not go there. We talked about we are talking about the tax, the 5% tax of every purchase on fuel. I will tell you the truth. That they have not implemented it is just an information. They will do it. Your co-anchor is sounding like mockery, who is trying to romance the whole issue. I will tell you the whole truth. That this particular thing has been in law for over 15 years, 2010, and none of the past governor or president was able to implement it. And Tinubu has come to implement it. That tells you that none of the past president was wicked enough to implement it. And Tinubu is wicked enough to implement it. Tinubu is strong-hearted. Tinubu is heartless enough to kill Nigeria and nothing happened. No wonder a man like Mole Sowore who said that Tinubu is a criminal and yet is threatening him. What else is that form of a criminal, if not it? Something that was there since over 10 years ago. You saw that it was not needful. There was no need for that. And you came because you are a man who brings it up and it is your turn to lead Nigeria. You want to finish Nigeria. That is why you can implement it. And then if it for Nigeria to die, let them die. But like your first caller who said, what have they done for them to be looking Nigeria? And your co-anchor was answering the question, if you want to wash your clothes dirty in the night and wash, what have you done? What have you done to wash clothes, my brother? It is because you don't have a car. For you have a car very soon. And so when you enter this station, buy fuel once and you know that what we are crying for now is not just because maybe some of us that have cars. They are crying for the unborn children of this nation. Nigeria is seeing it under Tinubu, and Tinubu is not seeing it. Then,
all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Eze from Abuja. All right. In say 10 seconds,
yes,
just wrap up your thought.
The truth is that Nigeria are tired of. Let's go back to the history. Let's check the books. Let's do this and that. Nigeria just want to see actions, and I would advise the federal government to slow down on most of these policies. They are draconian.
All right. Thank you so much. There you have it. A federal government, that advice is actually very apt. It says that you slow down on all of your policies. That is coming from our guests here in the studio, Alhaji Matthew there. All right. We would be going into discussing a very troubling one, another issue again in Nigeria, and that is the issue of Senator Natasha Buttigieg. And then I would just want to quote this way: you can't resume yet, even if your suspension has expired. This is coming from the Senate clerk, and it's like a reply given to Senator Natasha. And then the likes of the PDP and other sons have kicked in protest as Senate block Natasha's return. Natasha have served the 6-month suspension given to her, and in the course of this 6 months there have been back and forth in court cases and thereabout, but yet the statutory suspension given to her, not just her now, we should take her person off, given to her constituency, because that constituency have not been represented since that suspension for the past 6 months. Now the 6 month has expired. You are still saying that she cannot return. Can you help us, Mr. Matthew, to unfold what we and our viewers may not be seeing in this case?
Thank you. I think this is politics, and it is matter of morals. So we should discuss it as such.
Okay.
With no grudges, no affection. The truth is that Senator Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan is a senator representing his constituency and should be allowed to perform our legislative duties. The reason why you see most people supporting Senator Natasha and all that is just because we have only 4 women in the house, and it happens that the number is being shortchanged by suspending one. That's why we are all being emotional by men supporting women. But the truth is just that the matter is in court. That is the fact. Okay. Even if you check the letter of the clerk to Senator Natasha, it was clearly stated on the letter, inside the letter, that this matter is before the court. Not until the court adjudicate over this matter, the Senate have nothing to do about it. But after the court preside over this matter, decide over the matter, then the Senate will not have a cause to say, okay, let us start preparing for your recall, or let's start talking about how you will resume your. It's not that the Senate are deliberately rejecting Natasha's return request, but the matter is before the court and should be treated as such. That is the fact.
All right. Thank you so much. I believe not just me, our viewers heard clearly all what you have said as touching to this issue. I would now be bringing my co-anchor into this conversation. Bolu, I just want to ask, because I believe you and I have been following this issue since it all started. And one thing is glaring of all of this. When Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan confronted the Senate president and the whole case went to court, it was clear that the Senate also took the matter to court, and what they were challenging then was the fact that the 6 months have not yet expired, that she ought to serve for that time frame that was given to her. And here she is again after the 6 months. Bolu, help us understand what in your own perspective, what do you think we are not getting right?
I don't think I would want to speak in my own perspective
this
morning.
Please tell us.
I would love to come in from the legal and the political angle.
Okay.
And first, from the political angle, you see, there's what we call in football delay tactics.
Okay.
And that is what I see playing out in this case. Now, rightfully,
you said delay tactics.
Delay tactics in football. In football.
Yeah.
Delay tactics.
Now, rightfully, March, April, May, June, July, August, September.
6 months.
6 months. But then, just to still show that,
we are men.
Not just men. Like, this is politics, because in politics, have you not seen women who are in politics and who are very, very ruthless? I think one of the most famous one is Margaret Thatcher of the United Kingdom. In the House, she was one of the longest serving prime ministers in the UK.
Not in Nigeria.
Yeah, in UK, very ruthless. Because politics is politics. Politics is bereaved of emotion and all of those things. Now, they said, you've served your 6 months, no problem. But on this matter, before we would even be able to even talk whether I should come back or not, you don't carry us go court. And no, let court decide. And I tell you, when the court is deciding, given the nature of the Nigerian court system, given the backlogs of cases and matters before the High Court and all of the courts in the country, I think it will take a longer period of time for her to get recalled back to the National Assembly. But what I suggested previously, I said, in all of these things, if there are political solutions to some of these matters, and when I mean political solutions, I'm not saying you should give in or pave way for sexual harassment. I won't condone that. But there are political matters. These are political matters that can be resolved politically. We saw what happened in Rivers. Political matter is political matter. We might be here juxtaposing about it is right, it is wrong, it is bad, it is this, it is spiritual, it is terrestrial. But then Politics is politics. You can always find your way to negotiate. There are back those channels. Meet
All right,
with
Bolu,
people.
just hold your thoughts
All
there.
right.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Non-Streaming.
Yeah, good morning once again. This is calling back on the Natasha issue.
All right, Mr. Sunday, go ahead.
I want to make some reference or ask a question.
Okay.
I think when Senator Natasha went to court, it was specified that the issue that she went to the court for was because of the sexual harassment, not for the illegality of her suspension, because it was established that she was suspended based on the misconduct what she did in the house, and they gave her 6 months. So the evidence the court was waiting for is based on the sexual harassment, and that is what the court is still waiting for. So my question is, if actually the reason why she is in the court is because of the sexual harassment, now the illegality of her suspension, she has served it with all due respect. Why are you now referring her back to another case that was in a court? Is it not madness? Is it not the masculinity and the rascality of a man called Akpabio, who always hold women by their hand and whisper to their ear how their waist will always roll in his house, so that he will always go away with it? What are we saying in this country? May God help us.
Amen.
All right, before we continue, I just want to state categorically that the views, opinion, and comment of our viewers are theirs and theirs only, and has no affiliation with the Advent Cable Network or the Non-Streaming team. So please, viewers, take note. Bolu.
All right, thank you very much. So, I think just to the thought on the matter raised by the caller, the National Assembly also, they went to court. Now, Natasha herself also went to court. Both parties. Natasha went to 2 courts. First for sexual harassment, so on the whether
to challenge the legality of her suspension.
To challenge the legality of her suspension, and also the National Assembly itself as a body also went to court to say yes, we have rights over this matter. Akpabio himself also went to court to say this woman provide evidence that I harassed you sexually. So there are different cases, and these are the things I think we need to also let our viewers know. So on what the National Assembly is saying now is this: National Assembly is just talking about, see, that we both have a case in court, not on the sexual harassment, but one on the fact that you took us to court first on the legality of your suspension, and also that was why I said delay tactics. Because imagine a scenario where probably she sorts the one she initiated, and the National Assembly is yet to sort out the one that they initiated. It means they can still also make reference to that. Hey, it is your own that we finished. Our own is still in court, and that's why I am actually just suggesting
calling for a political solution.
And doing a political solution does not mean succumbing to harassment of any kind. It's like you wanted to say something?
Yes, okay. I don't think the senator in question is even ready for political solution, because you can recall that the House leader, Senator Bamidele, was on air the other time. Okay. It was a trendy matter, and he said, and even swore before the Quran, that he himself put a call through to Senator Natasha and said, okay, no problem, let us find a political solution to all these things. But he was surprised to see that Senator Natasha went and challenged our fundamental rights and orders in court. So I don't really think that the senator herself paved way for political solution and decided to the legal part. And here we are, there are so many legal fronts to the issue. So let's deal with it.
All right. Thank you so much, Laji Matthew. Very quickly, we're almost out of time. But before we go, there are two basic issues I want us to look at, and that has to do with insecurity in Nigeria and those that are in charge of securing lives and properties. This time around, we're looking at the Nigerian police. One case in point, Nigerian police have the right to break doors, climb roof, to arrest uncooperative suspects. This is coming from the Nigerian police. And we also have this one that is troubling me personally, and it says Nigerian police spent 22 million naira on 85 carton of crackers biscuit for personnel on operation. So, can we marry these two issues very quickly and give our last thoughts to our viewers on this matter? Mr. Matthew.
Okay, firstly, talking about the issue of a police scaling the fence to arrest uncooperative suspects, I see the statement as not too responsible.
Okay.
The statement is not responsible, and I urge the hierarchy of the police to quickly make
clarifications.
Yes, clarification to that statement, because it's not responsible and it's not even healthy.
It's not just scaling the fence. They will break down your door. They will climb your roof.
Yes, and arrest uncooperative suspect. You can. I will take you back to the case of EFCC operatives in Abia State that scaled the fence and tried to make a suspect cooperate. You saw what happened. One of the EFCC operative died in the process. So I did not really support that method of arresting suspect. So the hierarchy should make like clarification to that statement. Then secondly, how can you say even personnel on duty with cracker biscuit, it doesn't even correlate? How can personnel on duty be taking crackers biscuit to start with? So the statement, I did not take it seriously. I don't take it seriously, and I wouldn't want to comment further on that.
All right. Indeed, there you have it on the screen, a copy of the budget as regards the spending of 22 million naira, a whopping sum at that, for purchasing 85 cartons of crackers biscuits. Bolu, Mr. Matthew, I would want to take your last word on the show, and I just need you to make a comment on one. President Tinubu, he's saying that the burden of leadership is much on him, and the place that I am sitting is a prison. So is Aso Rock now a prison for the president?
I think there should be other acceptable words the president should have used instead of referring to our most revered Aso Rock as a prison. The president should have done better, and I call on the presidency to try and package our president very well, because some kind of words the president choose to use at some point in time, they are not really healthy for conversations. So we wouldn't want to talk down on our president. Indeed. But we call on the presidency to package our president very well.
All right, thank you so much. Abolu, finally on the show.
All right, I think just before that, I need to read some part of the Constitution that support that is, some of that supports the police on some certain issues.
Okay.
Now, talking about arrest, whether they can jump in or not. 1990 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, Section 35, subsection 1 says that every person has a right to personal liberty, but may be deprived of it in execution of a sentence or order of the court. One.
Okay.
Or upon reasonable suspicion of having committed a criminal offense. Now, to clear that, it means if I'm a policeman or a policeman that comes in here, he can look at our physics and, you look like a criminal.
Okay.
Means it's just because it is believed that they are trained. Are you getting it now? Whether they are now trained properly or not is none of my own business. But it is believed that they are trained. So it means on the basis of suspicion, they can look at you and effect and arrest. And these are the things that I feel. So many Nigerians, we are not really paying attention to some of these laws and policies that we have. And it went further to say, Section 33, subsection 1 says, a police officer may, without an order of a court and without a warrant, arrest a person whom he suspects upon reasonable ground of having committed an offence. Now, when we now go for that, we now need to explain what is the reasonable grounds. Now, the Constitution did not state specifically the reasonable ground that is being talked about here. Section 35 of the Nigerian Police Act also says it also permits them to arrest with a warrant issued by court. So it means, so there are some occasions where if you meet a police officer, you can ask them, where's your warrant of arrest? But we should also bear in mind that given the kind of laws that we have, some of these laws, I for one as a person, I feel some of these are laws, they sound very draconian. I feel they are obsolete, and we should do more about some of these our laws. Repealing them, you understand? But then many Nigerians don't really pay attention to some of these things. And we also have so many things like that we really need to sit down and look at, because I think the 1999 Constitution as amended is actually not a citizen-centered constitution for the citizens, because it was given to us by the military administration. And I think 1999 till date, I think we come of age to be able to sit down, have a roundtable discussion, and talk about some of these things. We have the Confab 2014, but now that's where the issue of political will comes into place. You have a president who organized the Confab to celebrate our centenary, January 2014, but still he left office. He lacked the political will to implement all of the things that were recommended by the Confab. And so these are things that we really need to sit down and it goes beyond juxtaposing and displaying all of this, the Osama will say, Turanchi that we are doing in the studio here. We need to do some very, very deep work. All right, thank you very much.
All right, Michael Ankobolo, I would take that as your last word on the show this morning. But before we go, I would like to take the last comment from one of our viewers. And in exclaiming, the viewers say, Chineke. I mean, one carton of crackers was bought at approximately 260,000 naira. The contractor, procurement officer, auditor, and whoever approves such unrealistic documents needs to be in Kirikiri or psychiatric hospital for correction and special rehabilitation. This obviously is both a criminal act and madness in display. That is actually the view from one of our callers there. And our viewers, there you have it on the non-streaming show this morning. And with this, we would say this is the size of our package on our show this morning. I want to appreciate very extremely our viewers and our guests, all our callers, those are sent in their comment, those are called in. Thank you for your time and your contribution. And also my guest in person of Alhaji Matthew Ogune, who is the chairman and CEO of MO Media Group Limited. He's here and he has contributed so immensely in the course of our conversation this morning. And to my very own co-anchor, Boluwatife Adeboye, we want to say a very big thank you for you steering the wheel together with me. Remember, you can get more of our programs via various social media platforms and also by staying tuned to this station till we come your way again with other interesting topics. Same time, same station. Do have yourselves a blessed day ahead. I am Godwin Ujiri, and bye for now.